Merry Christmas, everybody, and a happy holidays to yous. So, I put out a poll a few weeks ago, time of this coming out, of a few different things of videos that, hey, what do you want to see on Christmas Day? And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a surprise. I don't know which one y'all are ultimately going to pick because I'm, doing myself a favor and recording these ahead of time. But surprise, you get all of the videos in question. It just depends on what you guys end up picking from the poll. Um, Today, in this video, we are going to be talking about the evening star traditions of Tamriel. Evening star being the Tamrielic equivalent of December for the Gregorian equivalent of being the Tamriel, like it's basically December. It's December on the Tamriel calendar, right? Cool. Bet. And during this, there are numerous different festivals that are, the most similar to the American Christmas and imagery would probably most likely be the is My my apologies for the random blast into Elder Scrolls Online. I wanted to show you guys what the actual dance looked like in practice. All of the YouTube videos I pulled up were very very cringe. So this is the dance that they came up with in regards to get around saying, "Oh no, we're just practicing in case our shoes get caught on fire. It just get caught on fire because of lava." Which, to be fair, there is an active volcano streaming lava directly down towards Ebonheart on the map, so color me unsurprised. And also, people who were using the lava foot stomp would also carry a dazzling pin, like if you know, you know, so that they knew that they were in friendly company, so they could all dance and not have any snitches among them. It was, well, needless to say, the curmudgeon ended eventually. The next one's fun. This next one's fun. The Mudball Merriment, while the Dark Elves are generally more curmudgeony, the High Elves are so stifly that they unfortunately do not like fun, and there is a reason why certain aspects manifest in Aldmeri culture, uh, such as the House of Revelries. That is a good example of that. But another one is the Mudball Merriment, which takes place during the holidays, the New Life Festival. A la this one. Mer. Uh, the Mudball Merriment is when Altmer can kind of let their hair down. And because they live in a very tropic area, they don't have access to things like, oh, I don't know, snowballs. But they have decided to use mud balls and peg them at each other, and it's fun. How did they get the idea to do this? Of course, they didn't come up with it on themselves. Wood Elven immigrants to Auridon, which this is where it takes place. Auridon is the bulwark buffer island between the main island of Somerset and the mainland. And this Mudball Merriment mainly takes place in the city of Skywatch. Again, another regional one, similar to Ebonheart, but, you know, functionally, this is a way for the normally uptight, wound high elves to let their hair down, have a little fun. And every mud balls are thrown at every single person. It took a while for the high elves to get on board, but they eventually did. It took years. In over those years, the wood elves would absolutely choose particular members of higher society that were particularly curmudgeony and needed a lesson. Hence, why in the Elder Scrolls Online during the Mudball Merriment, you are able to go to Pact, Dominion, and Covenant ambassadors located in Skywatch, and throw mud balls at them to get them to loosen the fuck up. It is quite endearing. Similarly, while the um, while the last couple were absolutely ways for you know dark elves and high elves to sort of go against the grain, this is the Red Guardian festival called the Signal Fire Sprint. This is celebrated specifically in the more northern parts of Hammerfell in the Bangkori region, and it is celebrating specifically, got my notes here, Zora the Tenacious. The Bergma was under attack. Was going to be under attack, and the Dead of Night, and there was very little time for the signal fires that surround the town to be lit. And a very, very and a hero of the town, Zora, basically ran and hit every single light and was able to alert the town, fend off the attack, and she died because of exhaustion and I think her injuries after lighting all the fires. And she's heralded in the most northern reaches of Hammerfell to this day because of her sacrifices. And during the New Life Festival, members of the town and outsiders who are friendly and are welcome to will do the Signal Fire Sprint, which is which is them repeating Zora's heroic feat. And people that do, who are successful, are paraded around as heroes in the ways that people were not able to, or are given like rewards if they're like not members of the town and things of that nature. It's very much a reflection of like the fact that Red Guards, they remember, they do their best to remember history and honor their ancestors, similar to how the Dunmer do, but it's this aspect of the festival is very reflective of the Red Guard's values of ancestor of hero and ancestor worship. So you guys might remember earlier how I had mentioned how like East March has its own thing compared to Saturnalia, which is like in other places. The Snow Bear's Plunge is specifically a Windhelm / East March tradition where people will go to the which will go to the docks or the falls nearby. They'll just go to any high place they can and jump into the river that connects into the Sea of Ghosts in Windhelm. Either they go from the falls, they go from the bridge, they hop it in from the docks. Just the higher the better to show you're resilient into the cold water, and then plenty of fires and comforts nearby. People are drinking, partying, singing, cuddling, fucking. It is a very Nordic tradition, showing your grit, man or woman, of how strong and resilient you are, and then reveling in each other's company by the hearth of a warm fire, barely clothed and drying off. It is a violently Nord tradition without any violence to be spoken. It is, in my opinion, one of I think the cutest, and it reminds me why I do like the Nords quite a bit. My blood for the pact. I'm a scummy Skyrim player. Cut me some slack. Orcish tradition varies by clan, it varies by location, but at least for the orcs on the Isle of Beknik, it takes place in a very orcish way. A giant party with all the food and drink you can consume. Now, granted, before this party, part of the labor of love of this party, of everybody getting completely shit-faced drunk and eating to their heart's content, the entire community has to go out and source the resources needed, whether it is, getting the meat set up ahead of time, going out and fighting, beasts for food, or even raiding local bandits and or neighboring goblin tribes for just quick, easy grog. The Stonetooth Fortress of on Betnik absolutely revels in party, and the Stonetooth Bash, as it's called on the island, is a yearly celebration that everybody looks forward to, and even outsiders are welcome to partake in no small measure, so long as they put the work in to, earn their keep as part of like bringing resources in. The Khajiit of Reaper's March, which is, I believe, the most western and most northern lands of elsewhere, celebrate specifically the trial of Five Claws Guile. And this takes place in many different forms. And similar to culture worship similar to how the Red Guards did it. This is in reference to the god of thieves and the patron, and like one of the main, and basically the main deity of the Khajiit, Raijin. To quote Tamora, the New Life Herald of the Khajiit, Raijin once said, "A rock is a pebble to be tossed from one's boot. Use your lockpicks to retrieve the contents of nearby chests. Show you have as little regard for barriers as the mighty Raijin, and be quick about it." The trials of Five Claw Guile are put forth by these these overseers basically, and they will give some thieves the discernment of, hey, go unlock these chests and take their contents and return to me. But then they will subsequently have somebody else saying, hey, get these 3 items from this person's pockets, when you like when they're in front of me, and then that person and then uh that person's job will have somebody pickpocket them and have to go place them back in like somewhere else, and it's just this infinite lattice of thievery, and in a way that is a sort of display of the innate desire for freedom and freedom of movement that the Khajiit people have. The Bendari are a great representation of this. You know, like thievery is just an express that like type of thievery is just an expression of freedom, and it is also an expression of the desire of the Khajiit to be able to go anywhere and do anything without hindrance to their mind, body, or soul. It is in while some might balk at like thievery being one of the ways to represent that, I find that it manifesting in this way during the holidays for the Khajiit people is quite a beautiful thing, and I like it a lot. I think it's thematically like well done. And lastly, we have the War Orphan Soldier. So this takes place primarily, I believe, in Green Shade. Don't quote me on that, but wherever the capital city of Eldenroot is, and and the War Orphan Sojourn is just a is one of is basically the eight divinification of Wood Elven traditions, which is service to your community, similar to how the Argonians. It's people who can fish get fish, people who need fish, people who people who need fish get fish, and people who can fish go find fish. The Orphan Sojourn is basically a similar thing to that, in the sense of there are people in our community that have need. There is need that need to be done, whether that is going out to cull monsters, or going or donating money to be able to help those in need. The War Orphans, it's primarily in the case of the New Life Festival in the Elder Scrolls Online. It is run by I think an Akatosh sect, where they take care of orphans at an orphanage, and you can either slay monsters to sort of stay the herbivores from enclosing on the hab quarters, or you can just give straight up gold so people can buy the food, clothes, and amenities they need. Specifically, that gold can be important because in Valenwood, they're not able to use wood products unless that wood is imported and then and made by non-wood elven hands, basically, because of the Green Pact. But that's a whole nother video. And so it makes sense why this is the case. Why the Wood Elves are very much a culture that has chosen a level of primitivism in a way, and I don't say primitivism in like a bad way. I mean that they choose not to unrest the soil, mainly because of their faith, but also because of the Green Pact. They'll make rot myth. They will barter, negotiate, and in Wood Elf society is a very communal society. Wood Elven society very, very much puts time and effort into helping each other, and also whenever there is a war, it is very costly because of the Green Pact. Whenever a Wood Elf kills something native to Valenwood, because of the Green Pact, they cannot waste any meat from it. They have to respect the land, and that includes eating other Wood Elves. Hence why war, when it does happen, is bad, and it's why war doesn't happen super often in Valenwood, and when it does happen, the community makes sure that the people are taken care of. Hence, orphans and stuff are regardless. I've made my point on the War Orphan Sojourn. And that's the New Life Festival. I hope everybody watching this video is having a wonderful, wonderful holidays. If this video came out on Christmas, a very Merry Christmas to you guys and a wonderful, happy holidays. If it didn't, I hope you guys are having hope you guys have a happy New Year. I've been going through a lot in my life. By this point, I will be moved into a new location. God knows if I'll be able to record any time like during this. By the time these come out, I will be going through a very much a transitionary process in life. So we'll see how that ends up. But regardless, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for 10K this year, and here's to 10K more. And I look forward to making you guys even more content in the future. Merry Christmas, everybody. I love you. Also, calls to action. Do the thing. Do the things. If you aren't on my Discord, join the damn Discord. 99% of you aren't subscribed. Fuck off. Subscribe to me, goddammit. Peace.